A really good question was asked about exporting into an accounting system. CratePro has a lot of reports and they all provide different data, but I'll show you one that I found that 99% of the customers have said provides the data that will go into their accounting system. All right, all of your exports for accounting systems are generally done from the projects module to simplify it. You have generally a lot of projects, so it is important to go ahead and make sure you show all in case you have done a filter previously and you don't miss something. Then you decide, what do you want to export? Now you may be exporting data that or projects that you have created for that day, or maybe projects you've created for a customer, or maybe over a period of time. So once you have all of your projects, you can go to the Find screen up top and decide how do you want to go ahead and export them. I'm going to choose two filters. I'm going to choose by things I created today, and I'm also going to choose by the customer. And when you fill in the customer, you do not have to fill in the complete name. If you get part of it, it's fine. You also have some information at the bottom. So if you're looking for things that are an exact match or more or less than, you can go ahead. And this is just a little guideline to kind of help you out, or if you've put in keywords or so on. Click on Continue. I created two projects today just to kind of simplify it and make it easy. You click on Export up at the top. You're going to get this screen. Select Records for Export. There are two that I find, actually three that I see are used. Project Audit, if you export that, take a look at the data. Project Line Items, I see companies use that, but the one that I find has the most complete data for accounting system is by Design Prices. So just select that. Confirm that the found set does contain the number of projects that you expect it to contain, because you may end up finding you didn't filter it correctly and your list contains your entire database. Click on Export, have a place that you can find it, and then you need to give it a file name, okay? Whatever, if it's by a customer or you want to file it by the date, anything that is, lets you know this is my file. Date is pretty common because then you can just save the file, and if you forget to actually import it into your accounting system, you can do it at a later date and you don't lose things. There are different save as type files. Most accounting systems will import a tab separated file format or the CSV or comma separated file format. These are very common because they're called flat files. When you export into these files, you do not have the column headers, so you aren't necessarily going to know what the value of the data is. So for your first time, I recommend HTML file format. This will include your column header or the name of, each column and what data it contains. Because this report has so much data, you want to make sure you initially know, hey, what do I need to match? What field in that CratePro report matches what I want to go into my accounting system? And then you'll go ahead and save it. All right. Now I have, one that I already saved, which was basically that Design Prices. As you can see, you're getting the headers. Now, most accounting systems don't import an HTML file format. Some do, which if yours does, that's great because you have the headers. It's easy to see. But you're going to want to choose the field that you would like. Most of the initial data that you see here is basically administrative. It's what's done internally based on the time you added it. This column includes your project ID. So that is potentially a very important bit of data that should be imported into your accounting system because then you know what project this particular order is. If you have a customer ID, that may be how you match things up, or you may match it up by customer. One thing that a lot of companies also do, they import their customer list from the accounting system. So the way that it appears in CratePro is also the way that it appears in the export, and it's an easy match. You've got the name that you gave the item. That may be something you want a field match, or you may want, the design ID as well. It's up to you. You need to look at this and say, okay, what fields do I actually want? How many of each order? Now, this is actually really long, and I'm hoping I can scroll. Yes, I can. There's a lot of data. You've got prices based on your cost of your materials, cost of packing materials, cost of labor. for each of these. Some companies that are using ERP systems or other data management systems, so they want the breakdowns in those other systems for evaluation. You can keep scrolling, and then you're going to end up finding costs for everything as you go through. So you'll get your total prices for each. Now, something to consider in here or in your accounting system, when you field match, you are getting the name of the Crate Pro field. You're going to match it up to possibly a different name in your accounting system. For example, a cell H just may be each in your accounting system. Again, they're all individual. All accounting systems may have it differently, but you're going to want to make sure you are matching up the correct field with whatever it applies in your system. Something else to look for is some accounting systems allow you to put in the quantity of crates and the sell each price, but they don't want you to put in the total because the accounting system will automatically multiply the each by the total. There are others that do not do that. Again, it depends on your accounting system where you will also import your total prices. At your leisure, go through all of the different data that you can see in here. You're getting your markups, your profit percentages. And again, a lot of these will not go into a strict accounting system, but some of these will go into ERPs and other systems. You only need to import data that you want into your accounting system.